like we said, live agent select. We have a Reyna hover. I will never say no to an IGL Reyna.
I'll say no to that. Nope.
Wait,
nope.
Boostio Reyna? You're not a fan of the Boostio Reyna? The audacity.
Yeah, and I'm going to stand by that one. All right. Honestly, MIBR, there's no way they're switching anything up. Team Liquid, though, that is where my eyes are going to. How they're going to find answers to deal with Osbos's Jet. The Jet is locked in.
The 3 Viper hover is amazing. But Kiko, we should expect him to not be the one to flex off of anything. Right here, with Penny in the line, you can't, unfortunately,
give it up.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't have 5 Vipers. That would make me very happy, though. I'm a big Viper fan. So if we could do a 5 Vipers on the stage, that'd be great.
Just run a replication here on the Masters Toronto stage. Why not?
Crazy work.
All right.
They're taking their time, though.
They are taking their time. And
this is what I want to see. Penny's on that comfort.
Is that a chamber? It's a chamber.
And
it's a chamber.
Does this
so
mean,
unexpected.
I mean, with Harbor locked in, does that mean no Killjoy on this map? Because that would leave a ton of holes.
That's a huge gap in mid that I think MIBR is 100% going to abuse. I understand that Artzine, he's a great IGL. He is going to be utilizing that mid part of the map 100% against this comp.
Very interesting from Team Liquid. I mean, we probably wouldn't have been able to guess this out of all the things they could run.
Yeah, no, the chamber is a huge shocker, but I think just wanting to be able to hold more forward lines and deal with Osbos early in rounds.
Well, we got 2 bonafide legends on stage. Why not bring you guys 2 more in the casting booth? Here's Uber and Wyatt.
Flattery will get you here, Yinsu, that is for sure. Tons on the line here. I mean, the stakes don't get higher for both Liquid and MIBR respectively. And Liquid finally have their all-star IGL in the fold. And in an unprecedented move, they've folded in their super sub for this tournament. Penny's come in. Not only that, he's taken pride of place in the Jet role.
We have never seen anything like this at a Masters or Champions tournament before. We've had subs, but then the starter will come back. This is absolute madness. But on the MIBR side, can they get their head back in the game after being destroyed by Gen G? This is a team that Osbos handcrafted, put together. They've become the hope of Brazil, and it's because he's brought in some of those very talented Challengers players. Shenum and Cortesia have been lighting teams up throughout their Americas run, but you can see, you could see against Gen G, confidence was low. They were getting nervous. This is the first time that they've been on the international stage, and it's time to bounce back, or they're going to have an early exit.
And what's crazy is that these rookies on this MIBR side, they made their debut on the stage in Americas. And, you know, Cortesia, for example, said, I didn't feel nervous at all. I felt confident, I felt right at home, and he was. It showed in his play. Here in Toronto, it's been a different situation. In the press conference, it was pretty low energy. Aspas says, we just ran around the map for an hour and a half. We didn't show anything. Now it's time to show up and show out for MIBR. They're on the attack side of this pistol.
And there's no better map for them to potentially start on. Their icebox has been unbelievable. 5-0 in VCT Americas.
Kiko going to be challenged early, and Cortesia actually looks a little worse for wear. Backing up, getting some space. There's Penny already in front of a home crowd, delivering Patatech through the walls, able to find 2. That leaves Verno and Shenum with it all to do.
Verno getting up top right now with a shift. They're going to always want to press forward. They need to get a kill before they can even try to plant. But Verno's just going to get caught on the side.
Nats is just a little too clever for that. Patatech exits the round with 3. And EMEA's number 3 seed are off to the races.
Switching up the comp, but getting Penny on his original role. The Jet that he was playing when he was with version 1 at Reykjavik years ago. And we have not seen him at a tier 1 level since then. It was a slow decline. He eventually joined up with G2 in Challengers in Americas, had a role swap, went away from the Duelist. They failed to ascend that year. And then after that, you know, just posting, I want to go back to the Duelist. I need to prove myself again. And for 2 years since has been competing in Challengers, has been one of the underrated best duelists there, in my opinion. And it's so cool to see him get this opportunity again. He has been grinding for something like this.
Playing under such a reliable champion IGL. It'll be Penny and Nats over here on the B site early. Nats has a feel for this timing, so going to cut off access to that far side of yellow, but Aspas has already dug Nats out. It's an IGL down. And behind this controller, Util are going to go for a plant, but Penny tries to stand his ground. He's overrun. Kiko, at least, through this gap, found a second through the wall as well. And Aki's Team Liquid a real staging ground for a retake. Aspas will be allowed to plant.
A couple guns actually recovered for MIBR, giving them additional opportunity. Guardian for Aspas.
They're lining up. Oh, it doesn't matter. Panatek a little sharper in that instance. And Genom, one of the quietest rookies on this MIBR squad in their debut here in Toronto, has to solve this problem. Camo's waiting for him to come around the corner. That's an anti-eco converted for Liquid.
Listen, that is, of course, just an eco round from MIBR, but I'd like to see, and perhaps I don't want to read this as an early indicator, oversell it, but I like that they've scaled into that site together so fast. Artsin was getting really proactive, swinging deep so people could trade off of him. Again, early days, but I do find that juxtaposed to the game against Gen G, where they were slow to go for trades, so fearful to swing for each other.
Penny is taking a very sort of conservative approach to this round, perhaps wanting to get that op in hand as soon as possible, get rolling on this defense side. Orb denied here by the snake bite, so Team Liquid have to respect it. Aspas has already started to inch forward in the jail direction.
That's your very standard util early. There we go from Cortezia. Panatek punished for the jump up, and now Jern going to get additional info towards the site. Would love to force Camo off this angle with the Outlaw.
Camo giving another option just to fall off those op lines. Outlaw in hand in this round though. Snakebite here to try and canvas the point, but it's Camo down already. It's the Outlaw. Now the game, Code thrown up by Kiko, hoping to make some use of it, but Aspas is ready to fight him in this site. Team Liquid have been denied, and all their good guns have been knocked out of their hands.
The critical reason of why MIBR have had so much success on this Icebox map is how well they play around the harbor.
Aspas blindsided by Nats's emergence from the Cove, but all things considered, a pretty clean play against the bonus round by MIBR.
In addition to the round win, that's going to get Artsin just one orb away from a very early reckoning, which could be absolutely pivotal. Winning against Team Liquid, who are about to be on their first buy. Send him on to Rito.
We saw BLG's Rushia on this exact map not long ago, being able to chain multiple of those reckonings together in one half.
Already look at this, the energy is different for MIBR right now. Standing up is Artsin, their IGL, having a lot more life than he did against Gen G.
He felt like he was countered entirely by that Gen G roster, could not show what he was capable of either. It's a clean slate, it's a new day for MIBR. And of course, survival here in Toronto is on the line. Can't afford to make any more mistakes.
There it is. Behind that high tide, Artsin is able to get the orb safely. Drone going deep. Penny wants to entrench inside. Doubled up with Panatek. Here comes that ultimate.
Aspas goes up to 410 as well, looking for a bit of an angle around, but Penny dealt with Cortezia pretty comfortably. Through the wall, wrap around the corner, it's going to be Verno Artazine, and Aspas have a crossfire, and that was clinical deconstruction of Liquid's defense here. Camo's on the outside looking in, and he'll be pursued by young Verno. Brought down.
That is a Team Liquid who opt to try to anchor the site, fully stack it up with as many players as they can, but they're staring down the reckoning. It disrupts their position, and the executes from MIBR on this map are way too clean. Look at Aspas, they're getting top left on screens, able to punish the swinging players towards Gen. I love that. So well played.
And what a timely round to have that reckoning available. Energy much higher here. We had a press conference like, hey, it was the most glum display I've seen from this MIBR team. Felt like they weren't able to, I think the most disappointing part for them outside the losses, they couldn't show what they'd already been able to do over in Americas. These guys blew our mind when they first hit the stage out there.
Again, another round win. Artsin is out of his chair. IGL is getting hyped, trying to keep everybody excited, confident, and they need that. Artsin is an IGL. Also, look, he had that first year with MIBR, and they failed to get much of anything done. He was the one player from that roster that actually remained going into this year, because you could see his potential the entire time. And then as kickoff began, he wasn't even the IGL for this team. But when he picked up that role, that's when the team started playing more cohesively. That's when they were able to make that lower final and kickoff, nearly make it to Bangkok, but here, able to qualify for Toronto. He has been pivotal to the success of this squad, and if they want to continue the run here, he's going to need to be IGLing at his absolute best.
And it's worth talking about this icebox, and in fact, the entire map pool for MIBR, it's in theory quite favorable. They have not conceded more than 8 rounds to any team in Americas on their run here on Icebox. And we had a conversation with Frod the other day, and he said he's very pleased that Sunset's made its way back into the map pool. It feels like that's like a top 2 map for them, one they can really showcase the things that make MIBR, MIBR.
And then after that, if it needs to go to the decider, Split has been in their wheelhouse all year as well, running that double duelist look, even when it was off meta and finding success. That's where Artzin isn't just IGLing, he picks up the Raze and he plays like a demon.
Seeing Frod there as well. In the past, Frod's coaching style has been one where he imposes the structure on the team. He really sets the parameters and has them play his way, but he sort of confided and he said, with Aspas on this team, I can't really go for that. I want to unleash the GOAT, as he put it. I want to let this player show what he's capable of. So now, even he's evolved as a coach to work a little bit more around him. Of course, we had a chance to check in with Penny about subbing in for Nats and what that was like playing in front of a home crowd in his Omen player moment.
I think I played really well, obviously map 2, and that was a surreal feeling, honestly, to have that performance and come out to the home crowd and just see the stage and everything like that. So that felt good, obviously because of Canada, but I feel like the majority of newer gen esports players or like Valorant fans aren't as familiar with me. So I think after the map 2 is when I really felt the love and all that stuff, like getting up that stage, everyone was going crazy. It was like a surreal feeling. And yeah, I'm grateful for that.
Keep Liquid afloat to give them the opportunity. It's been a while since he's been on a master stage like this. A curveball in hand, but he doesn't need it.
Especially here, the coaching staff on Liquid is great, honestly. The game plans are really clear. I think that was a big part in why the games were so close, because obviously we have had no practice, but we had good game plans and everyone knew what to expect. And I think, like you said, there's no general feeling in the public that I can replace Nats and do what he does, So I think I'd have to come in and do my own thing. And that's what I'm gonna do as long as they need me to play.
And of course, Penny's fit in so well that he's been put exactly where he wants to be. We had a minor audio issue down on the stage, which has now been rectified. So round 5 of Icebox beckons for Team Liquid on a bit of an awkward one.
And this team respects Penny so much that they've got him on the duelist, on his primary role over Camo right now.
Frees up Camo to play the more aggressive, sort of util-focused agents. Just like in theory, the Chamber. But MIBR, look at how they dissect, break up this A side. Yes, it's against Sheriffs and Pistols, but we saw that in the gun round as well.
One enemy remaining.
Keiko lit up there. All too easy. This one should pass to that event. Nat's hoping for something on the backside here. Cortezia, one of the highest rated players in Americas after his first couple of weeks of play. This guy can shoot heads.
His headshot percentage is always outrageous. That's what people were looking at when he was coming into Americas for the first time this year. He is never getting spray kills. Always tapping players down. But Team Liquid on this round, they're going to have some quality ultimates to potentially play for the retake with that Hunter's Fury, Reckoning being one orb away. MIBR are so good at slamming this A site. Their executes are world-class, as good as it gets. Anchoring is an absolute nightmare. Team Liquid could certainly just want to get out and wait for that spike to be tapped, then get back in with this, Hunter's Fury, disrupt the plant.
Aspas has an encounter with Penny earlier there. The latter sort of respects it, ducks out of the range of those knives, and Shannon has already managed to get so far forward. And bear in mind, not a Killjoy setup for Liquid, so they can't just stick a turret here and watch for this push-up kitchen. This could be a problem for the defenders.
Shannon has got into a great position, and MIBR are going to peel away from that A side, given that he's all the way up here. But Nats, he catches Shannon. Will he expect Cortezia, though, who has also worked up tube? Double lurk going through. Timing just a bit off.
Spotted out. This hasn't really dissuaded MIBR from drifting over in the B direction to play behind his Viper wall.
Team Liquid, however, they are aware the wall is going to come up. Recon clears out back yellow, so Aspas knows he's safe to move forward. High Tide there, rather, is going to cut things off. Hunter's Fury disrupting.
Encounter in tube, definitely brewing. Without the Viper, of course, MIBR can still make use of the harbor wall to get in here. Kiko is down.
Left.
Nats fighting in the side. Glancing blow from that Blade Storm, still wants to challenge Aspas and rips him a new one. Artesian a little on the lower side as Penny's been able to pluck Verno out of formation. So MIBR down to the youngsters. It's Cortesia in a 1 versus 4. Panatek spotted playing out in the open. Penny has the spacing to swing off of it. And TL keep this one at a simmer. Early encounter over at A, but the play up mid for MIBR doesn't play off. There's just such insane game sense there for Nats to go hunting.
Yeah, that's well done by him to get this opening. And then they use the Hunter's Fury exactly as you want to be using it on this map. Disrupting when the spike was going down. The players had already been rotating towards B. Gives opportunity to find kills. And Cortesia at the end can only isolate one. Has to swing into a high-low while the spike is being diffused. MIBR, obviously at this point though, their economy is so strong, winning a number of near-flawless rounds in a row before that prior. And now Lockdown plus a Reckoning to try and keep this momentum going. Break the Team Liquid economy. Verno one tag.
And attack in danger. Verno converts it. That had to be a rendezvous there from Camo up to Rafter. He's able to avoid that third shot of damage, but now the Reckoning comes in because Artesian's had them rolling, and that's forced TL out of the site.
This site should be taken for free. This spike should be going down for free, and then they have the Lockdown after the fact counter Reckoning. Team Liquid, they want to go in fast at the moment, but they're denied by that Molly temporarily.
They respect it. Now going to make the win through Rafters. MIBR have the hotspot. They've got to keep moving. Asbusters can't connect the shot as Artesian on 410 now. Nats will show himself in theory. Just in time, Artesian can connect. Verno and Shedham now have to lock it down. Camo low in the back corner. And it's on Verno. Newest addition to MIBR. Keiko got it to half. One bullet in the chamber. It's not enough. Keiko able to finish him off. Complete the defuse, and that's 2 in a row for TL.
That looked damn close, that one bullet tap. Barely for TL. I like the haste that they were able to get back into the site with the Reckoning. Again, using it at the right time, these ultimates to flood and disrupt, rather than trying to anchor against the tsunami of utility that MIBR are going to throw at you. Unfortunately, I believe Cortesia just got entrenched pretty deep in the site there. There was a multi-kill from Camo off that drop down, so there wasn't a real opportunity to get the lockdown in on the post plant.
But the retakes look interesting for TL because they don't have flashes in this comp. The Reckoning is a great way to get in, unsettle the team currently holding the site, but after that you've got a contact.
Yeah, and they're basically going to have to hope that the cascades coming out from their harbor will cover up the angles. That'll allow them to get out without having to flash through. MIBR 5-stack today again. They just love hitting this site, and why not? They are very good at it, and they've got the lockdown to free things up. What a shot from Kiko. Able to drop off, get man advantage to play for retake again.
And MIBR, well, they've got the lockdown in, that's fine. Once more, TL respect it. Looking to retake now with a player advantage. Flashes or no, they're going to be favored.
Pretty unique plant spot from Artzin. Doesn't actually have to use the code for any level of safety. Cascade to assist Shenham, who's playing so far forward.
It's covered off the push into screens. Here comes a Viper's Pit from the back of the site, in theory to give TL a way in. Artesian here's got Camo dead to rights. That was Shenham. Able to find him, and Kiko now needs to find a timing to get out of this pit, but it has been rough. You can see TL don't necessarily have the tools to break in now without the Reckoning.
MIBR desperately needed this Shenham. He couldn't get anything started against Gen G, was not able to win out duels, but here in that pressed up position, being supported by additional utility from his Harbor IGL, capitalizes. That's just a great multi-kill. You have Cortesia aware of that flank, had a read on pay right there. Catches him out with a lovely headshot too. This is the rookies of MIBR hitting mechanically. We knew they could. Were they going to under the pressure, under the bright lights? And so far they're stepping up.
Whatever's happened in the last couple of days has allowed MIBR to be more themselves here. TL, a Viper's Pit to try and get into that A side. It was uncomfortable. Now already they're looking to stack this B side. They've been knocked down to just a hero rifle for Kiko. Cascade up to give MIBR a little bit of a base of operations on the B side, but they're not convinced.
Team Liquid have got 4 players here, plus Kiko, deep down mid. MIBR, they are pretty straightforward when it comes to this attack map, so why not stack? Recon instantly broken. Opposite Team Liquid, not the greatest weapons, actually spam through.
And they're inside the side. This is exactly what MIBR wanted. Trap them in with a high tide. Reckoning for Kiko. No plant yet, 48 seconds in the round though. Penny's going to drop down and get the better of Verno. Kiko, swing, it's good. Shannon dealt with. Cortezia can't hold. And a Mastercard thrifty here for TL. Behind that Reckoning. It's an ultimate that's really dictated this game so far.
That is flattening for MIBR. Kiko is turning up right now. Such a small angle. I love this from MIBR. Look at this proactivity, the swinging together. But it's CL players, specifically Kiko, even then getting that opening kill, wrapping around side, catches Shenum.
Woo! That hero rifle in Kiko's hands ultimately unraffles MIBR, but Penny in midair dropping down from Crows. That's pretty nice too.
Commitment from TL to fully stack investment into the operator for Penny, one of the OG great offers of the NA Valorant scene.
Verno plays off of that dart yet again. Another Hunter's Fury deals with the Harbor. That's some stall util now, taken off the table for Liquid.
If MIBR have one rookie that has had no fear, even against Genji, it has been Verno. He is stepping up at the moment. These Hunter's Furies have been absolutely lethal, and it's allowing MIBR to slow the game down with that early man advantage, keeping Shenum posted up towards A, inserted, while the rest of the team can pivot towards B. Team Liquid, they have an idea that this is likely happening right now after the noise cut. You can see multiple players at the top of the minimap on their way. They want to get to B early.
The alarm bot placement suggests they might not be staying here. Yeah. Send a cascade, pull out, make use of the inserted Shenum over at the A side of the map. Working the map a lot, but we're running low on time.
The real hope here for TL is up. Penny will be able to catch a player, perhaps on the cross.
How's he going to get in, though, with this high tide?
30 seconds left.
Yeah, there's just no way. I mean, does he try to go in front of it? He's going to get stunned up by the Reckoning.
How's he supposed to hold an offline in the Reckoning? It's not possible.
Welcome to my
Just has to play safe. Spike is going to go down.
Oh, no! Off screens. Asmas had an opportunity. Camo chunked low, but no finish. Back into the pit he goes. MIBR taking a more defensive stance now inside this Viper ult. Panatek has found Verno right at the back at Belts. Camo's going in. He's low enough as it is. It's all the same to him if he decays someone to try and take this fight. Nanoswarm on the spike location itself. Camo down, but he was low. Artazine being pressured now. Another one from Panatek from long range, and there's Nats. He's in the thick of it. Decay down, and now the pit is gone. Genom's able to find Panatek, but that's not nearly enough. A brilliant retake from TL. Again, multiple controller ultimates to fight through. They get their sixth.
Their retakes on A have gotten them in this 6-4 lead. They have been so good in those situations. That felt, frankly, unwinnable and should have been. They're reckoning into the Vipers pit to get the site for free. Spike down. They're in a 5 versus 4. That was a great first kill. MIBR was playing some pretty passive positions, and that does allow Team Liquid to get forward, get up top, and then drop into the pit together. But even still,
we cannot retake that ult ever. And we come now, we retake that.
I mean, absolutely. The fact that TL have just been able to unravel a very, very complex situation on a retake where they don't have flashes. They do have the Sova to try and spot out what's happening in the Viper's pit. Penny was forced off the side entirely by that Reckoning, and still they managed to figure it out. This is a retooled Team Liquid roster with Penny sort of just fitting in here. But you can see that IGL prowess from Nats, leading his team to a victory in an extremely difficult scenario.
that round as well would have had Team Liquid economically in a terrible situation. Very crucial for them that they won that. I mean, being up 6-4, already having 6 at this juncture on your icebox defense, you will take that all day long.
And they convert a 4 versus 5. Verno hits a fantastic Owl Drone dart and follows up on it with the Hunter's Fury. And MIBR still can't stick the landing.
The success that MIBR have had on these post plants on A is when they've been able to fight deep in the site together. They gave up so much there that even despite having the pit, which is why they felt they could give it up, Team Liquid were able to take advantage of that. Operator still in the hands of Penny, and interestingly, it's with 3 other players towards A. I mean, it's super typical. You'll have the op here do something like watch B main while there's an A stack. So they want to just get proactive behind it, post up with multiple players here. Yeah, they do. They've got Camo watching belt, but Osboss, top tube. Nats could be under a lot of pressure.
Got Dizzy as well, might swing at the same time. Nats is overwhelmed. There's not much you can do. It's a verified high-low setup thrown out there by MIBR, and Kiko lingers too long in mid. Jedham's starting to gobble them up now.
That's a beautiful bait and switch. Look at the attention that Osboss drew up there. Crosshairs so high up, and then the swing from Shannon through window. That was beautiful.
Overloading mid. Now MIBR just retract. Get on out of that part of the map. This will allow Camo to re-clear, but he can only do it via raw contact. Not a great position to be in when you are down 2 versus 4. But he will confirm that MIBR have absconded off to B.
With both the Harbor and the Viper alive heading towards this B site, you know, even if Penny were playing a position like back Snowman perhaps, there's just never going to be an angle to actually get a kill here with the operator.
Camo made the right choice coming to this site. Penny now going to make his rotate through as they've confirmed it, but Artazine sticks the plant. Now MIBR arrange themselves over around green and yellow. Camo hopes to show him the red light, but there's not a lot to see.
Ultimately, this is just a must-save situation for Team Liquid. They've been taking a bit too much damage on these rounds, still losing 3 on the prior, so they want to carry that op over for the final one.
And despite these back and forth rounds, MIBR's economy has largely remained intact. They've been able to continue to buy full loadouts, whereas Liquid have had to mix in a thrifty round to win that out. A couple of these weaker buys, and they're game planning for a similar situation now with this 2-gun save. Not yet. MIBR have made this a real competitive half on their best map, making it difficult for TL to put them down.
Getting the 6th round feels more important for MIBR here than it does for Team Liquid when you're on this attack half. This was so well played. Look at this from Shannon. Those players just entirely occupied with Osboss. Look at the crosshair there.
That needs like those free solo forearms to make that kind of correction from low to high. It's not happening.
Last opportunity for a round. Only one ultimate likely going to be used in this round, which is Patatex. And we've seen Team Liquid be really excellent in the situations where they have ults to disrupt the plants, get back in.
Penny wants to play forward with the op again. Cascade, he actually pushes it. Aspas up to jail, which is normally where he heads early in these rounds. Penny wants to linger, at least for the duration of that tailwind. Penny now is going to be here for the long haul as it stands, and Artazine walks into his line.
Spike down.
That's a spike drop too.
That information is crucial. MIBR, they like going for this double lurk with both their Viper and the KJ. Working mid. Oh, Patatex, where?
Oh man. Cortezia was hoping at least to be able to help from window should it be required, but didn't expect Kiko to be in kitchen as well. Big mid presence this round for TL. Maybe a response to what we just saw from MIBR. But a stunning start for the EMEA squad.
They really are aware as to how MIBR love to play this area of the map. There's multiple lurks. Kiko is on one right now. The aim is just stunning in this first half.
Will you look at that? We're all still alive.
He's laying it on thick, folks. Great mid presence there for TL. Thwarts another attempt of MIBR to thrust into that part of the map. And 7 defense side rounds. It starts here with Penny pushing up, taking that shot on Artazine, getting the spike loose.
Penny has done a nice job so far. First game on the chat with this team, his classic agent, and he's showing up. Kiko has been fantastic as well.
Quick break here at halftime, and Icebox has been competitive so far, but Liquid have to lead by 2. We'll see you in just a moment.
Face your death, cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops there. I'm taking off like a rocket here and stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future, but see profit here. Wait up, we gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas. When the whole team win, that's when you flex. Win, and I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again.
Coming back into the second half with your Coinbase Econ report. Obviously a measure of just the amount of value you're able to get in terms of damage out of the credits that you spend in a round. And I think that Chamber provides an interesting example of this in this case, because obviously Headhunter is a very deadly weapon you could sort of get filled up for pretty cheap.
Yeah, you can get the tour de force as well. So it's interesting to see Camo didn't have an amazing first half, but also just doesn't need to invest as much into the rounds as the other players. But you know at any point, Camo is the kind of guy that individually can turn up. You know, as for Penny, he on the opposite side, you have the guy investing the most money, but still able to find value with the op as the game went on. So still maintaining a solid econ rating throughout. Now, as we get into this second half, Team Liquid able to get that 7-5 advantage on defense, winning the pistol there. So MIBR, they would love to make that 1-1 as far as pistol rounds goes to open things up.
It's been Kiko's individual play, and that's his mid-rounding that has really gotten TL ahead of MIBR so far, but on the pistol second half, this will see MIBR defend, and TL have that characteristic B-side group early, with a quick ping on Artazine via the Aldrone.
Boss still has that dash available, wants to take a duel back yellow, be able to escape and then double up, maybe play a little cross with Artazine right now.
But if Artazine gets overwhelmed, Aspas doesn't have a safe retreat angle. He'll have to stay. Off the line, he gets pushed into the cloudburst. Aspas, okay, realizes Penny's there. One shot is good, but Penny emerges with a headshot immediately with a ghost. Cortezia has to get in here. The Panatek has slapped him back down to a paltry 8 points of health, and Kiko gets the plant.
These players are so weak right now for TL. Having to wade through a lot of that Viper utility. They were in some serious danger.
Here.
Recon available for Verno, going to go back yellow. Can it be played off of effectively?
Shannon is walking up on this. He'll have two angles to watch, but Camo's made some noise, and it's an easy finish now to wrap around. He's going to try and do it all. Here's Verno, young gun. Not enough. Kiko continues his streak of dominance.
It has been a reign of terror from him on Icebox. His aim today, as sharp as ever. One of the most talented mechanical shooters coming from Europe. Putting on a show, both pistol rounds right now converted for the side of TL on MIBR's map pick, putting them in a really tough position. We know one of the keys to an MIBR victory when they're playing this map is defense, get the economy rolling, get the op in the hands of Aspas. That is always a win call.
So far, this has not played out. Artazine just flies a little bit too close to the sun there, and that's sends him out of the round early. The only player over at B, fairly far extended, so MIBR have to quickly get their ducks in a row for this underbought attempt and thwarting TL.
Walls going up, Cove getting thrown down for safety, and a very easy plant. Only one sheriff right now for Shenham, so should be a fairly simple cleanup for TL, who have heavily invested into this round. Look at the array of weaponry they have on a round 2 anti-eco. It's very important that they carry this all over for sure. But when they do, if they do, the bonus round is going to be looking deadly.
Yeah, they're in such a good spot and pretty confident that they're not about to lose these weapons. MIBR may well agree with them because there's been no further attempt from them to get into the game. Perhaps they don't really want to be feeding Kiko further because he's already over halfway towards that reckoning. Something that's going to make it ultra hard for MIBR, even on a rifle round, to adequately defend any of these sites. So they'll play the pacifist approach to the rest of this round. And this is now the most rounds that MIBR have conceded on this map compared to what they had in Americas.
In any VCT game, prior was only 8. It never happens where we need to see MIBR in a comeback position on Icebox. TL are looking fantastic with their IGL and one of the best players of all time. Nat back in the game with them. Goes without saying that this round is must-win for MIBR. Things would absolutely spiral out of control. TL would break their economy. This should be worth 2 for them if they can convert. And again, just look at how good this bonus round buy is.
Only 2 players with half armor on MIBR, so Nats' options for insta-kills will be a little limited. Verno backs off. He does at least see either Nats or Camo here over towards that A side. And that's almost anticipating a bit of a thrust forward by MIBR, but they are very much of a different mind, falling back to the extremities of A. maybe trying to get some mid control for Cortesia, but he doesn't ask for much. He's already got the turret watching it.
They've very much given up the B site, and they just have passive info gain with that alarm bot under tube, turret on boiler. Very prepared for this A hit, ready to absorb that. Multiple players back site, hoping to get that kill. Maybe go for the full retake if that's an opportunity they might have.
The high tide, Aspas gets ahead of it straight away. Cloudburst, keep a minute to play, but Aspas is going to go over the top. Camo's down. Oh, it is! What? Vamos Aspasin! Massive three-piece. Patatek and Keiko now have to pick up the pieces. And Aspas is still looking for more.
30 seconds.
He has come alive.
One enemy
And
remaining.
Verno will supplement his effort earlier on. 4 for Aspas. And MIBR come alive, not a moment too soon.
We've been waiting for a little bit, perhaps a little bit too long, to see the GOAT make a play like that in Toronto. What on earth was that snap to the player up top? You are joking.
More of that MIBR fans need to see. And again, very nonchalant approach for Aspas. He's been on these stages so many times before.
That is one of the most unbelievable spray transfers I have ever seen in this game. What the hell? I am absolutely stunned.
Nothing like a little pick-me-up for this beleaguered America squad. Trying to assert themselves on their map pick of Icebox. Penny gets up on top of Tube early. Spotted the bow by that turret.
Really close to an engagement.
Cortesia might give them one, but is he aware of Nats shoved up here? Can't find the correction in time. Nats is going to ask for more. Verno eats the vulnerable and hopes to have an opportunity, but it does not present itself. Nats is out of there.
And all the while with that mid-action. Okay, Artzin does catch out Penny on the retreat. This is getting awkward. Nats is everywhere, taking duels.
Shenum, though, we rarely expect that second player up Tube. MIB are also emphasizing their defensive efforts in mid.
Look at Aspas, he's on the long flank right now, but
There's a trade
Patatek aware.
Maybe spotted up by the trademark. Some sound made. Patatek, patient, waiting on this. Aspas! Can't run back against the nasty spray transfer. Shenum through the wall. Timing hurts him though. Camo deals with him. And now to push up over towards Crows. This Verno didn't have a chance. Team Liquid take one big stride forward again.
Disgusting snap from Camo at the end. Nats doing the most in that round and doing what he has always done best. Those lurk timings he's finding. Being able to cross through that poison cloud, tucked into this corner. Cortesia not ready for that engagement. Pivots back to Tube, and all the while, he's also just distracting so heavily that off of the high tide Kiko throws into A, they go in and just get a nice free and easy plan.
We barely mentioned it, but there's a reckoning in play as well. Kiko's just been developing those round after round.
Full investment from MIBR right now. If Team Liquid win here, they'd get an opportunity to get to match point with a subsequent being an eco for the Brazilian team.
Position forward, cross here a little low though to capitalize. He has to get out as the spray comes in. He is unhurt though. Camo can clear this mid-util and step back a bit. Again, 2 players trying to work Tube.
Camo is hoping someone goes for a re-clear. He is daring them to face. Oh, pinged out.
Spray this one. Cortesia steps up. But Verno at least is able to complete the trade. At the moment, Shenum, you're starting to think about drifting back towards the epicenter of the action, which is Nats here with the Outlaw up Tube.
It is remarkable that, oh wow,
wide swing.
just facing into the open, gun down.
Kiko handles him comfortably, but there was another gun trained on Aspas anyway.
All right, high tide is going up. Counter high tide from
What is Nats doing?
Artzin. Verno is trying to entrench himself into the site.
30 seconds.
Blood is on the spiral.
How?
Oh no! Nats! He's in the walls! And now he's sat right up behind Artazine. This is absolutely going to put the pressure on. Nats breathing down the neck of our sophomore IGL.
Look at this, there is a long flank from Shenum coming around. He's just trying to ensure that he's not going to make too much noise, but the time is dwindling. Artisan just really wants someone to overextend and push towards him. It's not going to come. He's going to have to be the one to get proactive. One of these MIBR players needs to make noise for the other.
He's going for it. Spotted Kiko, though, can't handle him now. Eyes over towards Raft, and that's challenges and gets destroyed. But elsewhere, Shenham was dealt with by Penny. And Artisan could not do more. This is now heading into a 4-alarm fire for MIBR. They've handed over Team Liquid their 11th round. And Liquid are just going up gear after gear.
Camel picked up, just cannot get away with even going 1 for 1 there. Osmos swinging out into the open, faces into multiple players. Really wants to be a hero in that situation. This attack side has been a Nats lurking masterclass.
And he's defying all of the assumptions that MIBR are making about the positioning of TL in the mid-round. They thought that getting rid of, I think Kiko it was, or Camo rather, up tube, that would be it. But Nats was actually doubled up with him, unable to help much with that initial fight, but then slipped through the net. Shenham had no eyes on him as he rotated over towards A.
When we get back into this, that was the round that was going to put MIBR on a really bad buy where they're going to need to force. It's not appalling, but they're going to have a ton of light armors, weaker rifles, etc. Must come out of this timeout with a strong game plan. They have good ults to do it. Look, I'm just looking at Verno right now. He has the most kills in the server at 15. He is one of the youngest players at this event. His first year out of Challengers. The one American player on a team full of Brazilians. This roster move on paper, you're like, this makes no sense. He's fit into the team like a glove, and now is the standout for them at their international debut.
But it's not enough here on Icebox, not by half.
He was getting multiple Hunter's Fury kills, though, in that first half. Using them even early in rounds. Can he get another advantage for MIBR to try and convert off the back of that ultimate?
Verno, who was nonchalant like a second skin, is going to have to keep that composure as Aspas again goes down early without support and a wide swing into the attackers.
He's just out in the open, caught after the smoke drops. Pretty disastrous. Look at this force from MIBR. There's just 2 sheriffs. Artisan taking matters into his own hands. And now has a reckoning to play with. Rather, you know, he did already have it, but he will be able to fire that off when the execute comes in.
As far as stall utility goes, MIBR are well positioned, already having bought some time with that awkward situation for TL. They've recovered the spike and all dropped down. They might look to take multi-faces as they contact now into the A site. First challenge, Leon Shenham taken down Artisan. Shenham's able to find the spacing off of it at least, but Camo's gotten in there. Team Liquid now starting to scrap for the site, and it's only Shenham standing under rafters. It's not enough for MIBR, this awkward buy light armors. They get blown apart.
They're playing so heavily to anchor with a Hunter's Fury and a Reckoning. They can pounce, or could have pounced on Team Liquid when they tried to go for the plant with those ults. But anchoring with the weaker weapons is their undoing, unless Cortesia can come up with a monster clutch. Team Liquid are on the precipice of match point. And for the first time in VCT, will deal a loss to MIBR and Icebox.
Cortesia handled all too easily by Penny. Someone who also stood on the America stage for a time.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year was a sub for Brazil with Furia, gets them a win, and now, unfortunately, a sub about to deal them a loss on Icebox.
Again, one of only 2 Canadians will take the stage here at Masters Toronto.
Yeah, we thought we were only getting 1. We've got a second hometown hero.
That's a beautiful finish. Team Liquid have looked sublime on this map. It's been a lurking masterclass from Nats with amazing mid-rounding, and Kiko and Penny delivering where it counts. We're off to the races now. Aspas wants to play forward once more. Bladestorm at the hand, but this time he has someone to play off him at least. Or does he? Oh, Artisan, not what you want to see.
And some serious danger on the run right now with Aspas, who has been eager to take duels on this A-side. Hunter's Fury coming through Penny midair.
Artisan handled comfortably. Just one blade was enough to do it, but he had more where that came from. Another great Hunter's Fury from Verno, but it's not going to be enough. Now to sight under full control of TL, and a fight this pit to make it that much harder for MIBR to get back in. It's now or never, boys.
high tide up right now. They're being delayed. Molly on to Camo. He's on the run. Doesn't want to get shot down. Wall vulnerable up. MIBR, they're in backside. This is Team Liquid with more players. Passive just in the pit, allowing MIBR to come to them. Pressure now on the spike.
Gives it a tap. Draws the util out of TL, but there is still more. Panatek has 2 shockies to play with. Shenom ducks in, sees very little, backs out. Recon bolt comes through. Penny has his head ripped off. Cortezia finds those shots.
Last player
And
standing.
on the spike is Ferno. He's gotten it to half. Are they going to know he's going to be there? They're too busy dealing with the Raz, but that's what a way to end it. A Red Bull clutch as he sprays through. And what a gut punch to MIBR, their best map this year. TL, no respect, send them absolutely packing to start the series.
Must feel pretty good for the Liquid fans to have Nats back in the roster. Masterclass lurking on that attack half. Why not close it out with a little 3K clutch out to take the map, deal MIBR their first Icebox loss in the VCT this year. Team Liquid are back.